Okay, it's Mr. Fletcher here. This is the first of 8 examples about ratio. So in the first example we've got 2 bags full of coloured counters. First bag is red and blue counters in the ratio 6 to 13, and we're asked to find the fraction of the counters in the bag that are blue. So essentially this is about turning a ratio into a fraction. So the first thing we're going to do is just write down our ratio. And then I always like to label ratios as to what's going on in terms of, what is it, red or blue. So these guys are the red ones, these guys are the blue ones, so we know how we're working this. And we're asked to find the fraction of the counters in the bag that are blue. So 13 of the counters are blue, right? So 13 of the counters are blue. Okay, out of how many in total? Well, how many counters are there in total? 6 plus 13 is 19. Okay, and we're done with that one. In the second question, or the second part of the question, the second bag has green and black counters, and 4/7 of the counters are black. Write the ratio of green to black counters. So where we want to go to with this one is I want some green counters and some black counters in a ratio, and it says 4/7 of the counters are black, so 4 of them must be black, right? Well, if there are 7 in total and 4 of them black, then 3 of them must be green, right? And we are done. So there's your example. Pause the video and have a go at the your turn. Okay, so hopefully you've had a go at the your turn now. Let's have a go and see how you got on. So let's write the ratio down. 8 to 15. We were red and blue. So what we need here is counters in the bag that are blue. That's going to be 15, isn't it? How many counters are there in total? Well, 8 add 15, that's going to be 23, isn't it? The only other thing we'd have to think about with these fractions is, obviously for fractions you need to simplify them, but neither of these fractions can be simplified, so we're good. Next part then. So second bag has green and black counters. 3 out of 11, 3/11 of the counters are black. So I've got green ones and I've got black ones, and we need a ratio. Well, if 3 out of 11 of the counters are black, then that number must be 3. And there's 11 in total, 3 of them are black, so that leaves 8 green counters, doesn't it? And we are done. Example 2 now. So we're asked to fully simplify the ratio 490 to 910. So let's just write down the numbers then. So 490 to 910. We're asked to fully simplify the ratio. So it's kind of a bit like simplifying fractions on its side, really. So we need to know what times table goes into 490 and 910 at the same time. I'm going to say, well, the simplest thing to do there is just divide it through by 10, right? Definitely both in the 10 times table. So we're going to end up with 49 to 91, okay? So now we need to know, well, so now we're partially simplified, right? Are we fully simplified? Is there a times table that goes into 49 and 91 at the same time? Yes, it is. It's 7, isn't it? So we're going to need to simplify it one more time. How many 7s in 49? That's 7. How many 7s in 91? Well, 10 sevens will be 70, and there's 21 left over. That's 3 more sevens, so that's 13, right? So we're done on that. So I've had a go. Your turn. Pause the video. Okay, so hopefully you've had a go at this now. So we're asked to fully simplify the ratio 540 to 1120. So what times table are they both in? Definitely both in the 10 times table, right? Divide them both through by 10. It's going to give us 54 to 112. What times table are they both in? Well, they're definitely both in the 2 times table because they're both even numbers. So let's just do that. So that's going to be 25, 27. That's going to be 56. So is there a times table that goes into 27 and 56? Well, no, 2 doesn't work, does it? 3, no, 3 doesn't work. 4 doesn't work, no. I think we're going to find out that we have in fact fully simplified that ratio. Okay, so we're done. Example 3 now. So James and Anna, they're sharing £35 in the ratio 4 to 3. Work out how much each person gets. Right, let's have a look at this. So the first time we do some sharing then, this is going to be £4 to, I'm going to label this just so we can remind ourselves what's going on. £4 to James. Anna's going to get £3. How many pounds have I given away in my first share? That's £7. Is that all my money? No, that's definitely not all my money because I want to give away £35. So how many shares do I have to give away all my £35? Okay, that's the question. And the answer here is going to be, well, what is 35 divided by 7? That's going to equal 5, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to times by 5 here. So 7 times 5 would be all my money, £35. So that's definitely going to work out. So then the issue becomes, well, what I've done down the right hand side I have to do to everything, okay? So what we're going to do is times 5 on everything. So 4 times 5 is 20. 3 times 5 is 15. Do 20 and 15 add up to 35? Yep, so we're all good. What was the question? How much money each person gets? We have answered the question, haven't we? £20 and £15. Even going to just put a little wiggle in here just to remind you where that number comes from. Okay, right, I've had a go. Pause the video, your turn. Okay, so hopefully you've had a chance to do this now. So we've got Jane and Alex now sharing their money. So they're sharing it in the ratio 5 to 3. Jane, Alex, and in their first share we share out £8. Is that all the money? No, because I want to share 96. So the question is, how many shares do I have to do? Well, I'm going to need to do 96 divided by 8, right? 10 times 8 will be 80, 16 left over is another 2, so that's 12, isn't it? So we are going to be times 12 in here. What we do on the right hand side, we do on the left hand side. Five times 12 is 60. 3 times 12 is 36. The 60 and 36, when I add them up, does that give me 96? Yep, I've probably done it right then, haven't I? And we're done. Example number 4 now. So we've got a canteen, they're spending some money on food and drink in the ratio 39 to 4. In total they spend £5,074. Find out how much money they spend on drink. So we'll set this up the same way as we set the last one up. We will be allowed to use our calculator on this one. So we're going to share 39 and 4. So that's going to be food and drink. Okay. And in our first share, that's going to be 43 food and drink pounds, right? That is not all the money that we want to share out, is it? No, because we need to give away or spend £5,074 worth. So then the question is going to be, how many shares do I have to do to spend all the money the canteen spent? So if we do 5074 divided by 43, like I said, we're allowed to use our calculator for this. 5074 divided by 43, it's 118, right? So, okay. So that's going to be times 118. And what we do to the right, we do to the left. So timesing by 118. So let's do that on our calculators then. So 39 times 118, oops, is £4,602 on food. Okay, so £4,602 on food. And then the critical issue is really how much money did they spend on drink, because that's what we really want to know. So 4 times 118, £472. And we have our answer. Okay, so I've worked one. Time for you to have a go. So pause the video and have a go. Okay, so hopefully you've had a go now. We'll work through it. So now we're sharing the money out. 37 to 4 food and drink. So we're spending £41 on our first share. How many shares are we going to need to give away? 779 pounds worth. Well, to find that out, we're going to need to do 779 divided by 41. So 779 divided by 41 is 19. Get that in the shot there. So we are times 19. So we're going to need to do that on both sides, right? Times 19. So 37 times 19 is £703 on food. And the critical issue is what we really want to know is 4 times 19 is £76. £76 on drink. That's what they wanted to know. And we're done. Example number 5 now. So here we've got Adele, Bert and Chris. They're getting money from their parents in the ratio 4 to 3 to 8. And Adele and Bert received £98 in total. So we need to find out how much Chris receives. So let's just write down our ratio and label it, because this sort of helps us understand what's going on. So we've got 4 to 3 to 8. Okay, and that's Adele, Bert and Chris, right? Now we know that that's going to be 7 parts, right? And 7 parts is equal to £98. So what's 1 part worth? So 1 part is 98 divided by 7. Now we can do this without a calculator, but let's assume that we're allowed to use our calculators for this. 98 divided by 7 is 14, right? So if we know 1 part is worth 14, then Chris must be getting 8 times 14, and 8 times 14, again we can assume we're going to do this on our calculator, 8 times 14, £112, so Chris is getting £112. So I've done one. Time for you guys to have a go. So hopefully you've had a chance to do that now. So let's have a look. So this time we've got Adam, B and Carrie. So let's write this down. 4, 1, 9, Adam, B, Carrie, like that, okay? So Adam and B received £95 in total. So Adam and B, that's 5 parts. 5 parts is equal to £95. So 1 part must be equal to £95 divided by 5. And we can probably do that on our calculators. I mean, I know what the answer is. You might be able to do that as well in your head. 19, alright? So 1 part's worth 19. So Chris, he's got 9 parts of the money. Each one's worth £19. So we can do 9 times 19. It's £171. And we are done. Okay, it's example 6 now. So we've got Adrian, Ben and Charlie, and they're sharing some sweets in a ratio 7 to 4 to 9. Charlie got 22 more sweets than Adrian. Work out the total amount of sweets that we've got. So, like before, let's just write down our ratio and label it. So 7, 4, 9. Adrian will be A, Ben will be B, Charlie C, okay? We are told Charlie has got 22 more sweets than Adrian. Okay, so the difference between 9 and 7 is 2 parts, okay? So 2 parts is 22 sweets. Okay, so 1 part is 11 sweets. Okay, so the total number of sweets, So the total is 11 sweets per part, right? Times, how many parts have we got? 7 plus 4 plus 9. Okay. So let's assume we can do this on our calculators. So what I really want to do, well, I'll do it like I've shown it on the working out here. So 11 times 7 plus 4 plus 9 is 220 sweets. Okay. So I've done one. Time for you to have a go. See if you can do it. Okay, so hopefully you've had time to do that. Let's write the ratio out then. So now we've got 8 and 4 and 11. Let's add and B and carry now. Adam, B and carry. And carry, so C, she's got 21 more than Adam, so 21 more. Okay, so what this tells us is 8, 9, 10, 11, there's 3 parts there. 3 parts is 21 sweets. Okay, so 1 part is, well, what's 21 divided by 3? It's 7 sweets, right? So the total number of sweets is going to be 7 times all the parts plus 4, 11. And we can plug that into the calculator. So we're saying we've got 7 times open bracket 8 plus 4 plus 11 close bracket 161 sweets. And we are done. Okay, we're on example number 7 now. So a football club, they're holding trials to be in the squad, and they've got 30 places, but 139 people apply. Okay, so we need to find the ratio of places in the squad to the people applying, and we need to give our ratio in the form 1 to n. Now 1 to n ratios are a bit weird, because normally the rule for ratios is that we like to have nice whole numbers for ratios, but when we go to 1 to n ratios we're allowed to have decimals, which is kind of a bit weird. So we really need to understand which way round we're doing this. So find the ratio of places in the squad, so the ratio of places to the people applying is what we want. We need to get this the right way around. So how many places are there? There's 30 places, right? So 30 is the number of places, and the number of people applying is 139. Okay, and I need the left hand side of the ratio to be 1. So how do I make 30 into 1? Okay, I'm going to divide it by 30, aren't I? Okay, so that's going to give me 1. So now I just need to get my calculator out and decide what 139 divided by 30 looks like. We get a silly fraction, so we press SD and we get 4.63, and press SD again, it gives us the whole thing in long, so 4.6333, and we need to have the answer to 1 dp, 1 decimal place, so that's going to be 1 to 4.6, and we're done. Okay, so I've done one. Time for you to have a go. Okay, so hopefully you've had a go now. Let's see if you've done it right. So we definitely wanted places to people applying. I've only got 20 places now and 157 people applying. So I don't want that to be a 20, I want it to be a 1. How am I going to get that to happen? I'm going to divide by 20. But I have to do that to both sides of the ratio, don't I? So we're going to need the calculator. What's 157 divided by 20? Gives us a silly fraction. We press SD. Oh, that's nice and easy. 7.85. Okay. 7.85. And we needed that to 1 decimal place, didn't we? So that's going to be 127.9. And we're done. Okay, we're almost there now. Example number 8. So students in a school are asked to pick either a football, rugby or tennis game to play in their lesson, and the number of students who are picked for football and rugby are in the ratio 4:3. And the number of students who picked rugby and tennis are in the ratio 12:25. And we're told that 150 students picked tennis. Work out how many students picked football. So this is what we call a two-part ratio problem. You'll see why in a minute. And the issue is we're trying to relate tennis back to football. It's not entirely clear how to do it. So what are our 3 games we're playing? So we've got football, we've got rugby, and we've got tennis, okay? And what are we told? So football and rugby is 4:3. Yeah. And rugby and tennis is 12:25. So rugby and tennis is 12:25. And the issue is we're trying to relate the tennis back to the football, and we can't really do that because we've got a sort of bust in the middle. And it's kind of a bit like having, when you're adding fractions and you need a common denominator, it's that kind of a problem. So what we're going to need to do is have a look at our, and it's not a common, it's not the denominator of the problem, but you kind of get the idea. It's like the denominator of a fraction here. How am I going to make the 3 and the 12 the same number? Like when we have to add fractions, we have to have a common denominator. So it's a lowest common multiple type problem. What's the lowest common multiple of 3 and 12? And the answer is 12, isn't it? So how am I going to, well, 12 is already a 12. We can leave that as it is. What am I going to have to do with this? I'm going to have to times it by 4, right? So I times it by 4, and that's going to give me 12. And 4 times 4 is going to give me 16, okay? So now I'm in good shape. And I'm told that I've got 150 students who picked tennis, right? So 25 parts, there we go, 25 parts of the tennis is 150 students. Yep. So 1 part is 150 over 25, and 150 over 25 is 6. So then we have to think about our football story. So for football, how many people are playing football? Well, I've got 16 parts. Yep. And I've got 6 people per part. So we'll get our calculator out and we'll figure out what that is. So 16 times 6 is 96 people. And we're done. So I've done one. Your turn. Okay, so hopefully you've had a chance to give that a go. We'll work through that and see if you got it right. So it's another problem with football, rugby and tennis, right? And we're told the football to rugby ratio is 4 to 3. And we're told the rugby and tennis ratio is 15 and 31. And the problem is that we've not got a common denominator, although it's not really a denominator. You get the idea. So we need to make those the same. It's a lowest common multiple problem. So what's the lowest common multiple of 3 and 15? That's going to be 15, isn't it? So how do I make the 3 into a 15? I times it by 5, right? So I need to multiply that whole string by 5. So that's going to be 15. That's not a problem. And 4 times 5 is 20. Okay. So now we can relate the 31 parts of tennis back to 20 of football. So what were we told? That 31 parts is equal to 155, right? So 1 part must be equal to 155 over 31. Let's assume that we can use our calculator here, and we'll say what's 155 divided by 31? Well, it's 5. Okay. So 5 person per part in the problem. So for football, I need 20 parts and 5 people in each part, right? And I don't really need the calculator for this bit. What's 20 times 5? It's 100 people, isn't it? We're done.